I don't know if I had gone too far the night before and was hungover or still drunk that day, but I was at, like, the lockup that I had was on the 35th floor, right at the balcony, like looking over into just the vastness of the space below. And I just remember like shaking, like being terrified in that moment.
Welcome to the Most High Show, a show about recovery, spirituality, and all that. Produced, posted, and hosted by people in recovery who have strength and hope and want to share it with you. If you or someone you love is suffering, we want you to know you are not alone. This is the Most High Show.
Ready?
I'm ready. You ready?
Yeah, let's do it.
Hell yeah. Welcome to the Most High Show, made by and for people in recovery. A show about recovery, spirituality, and being human. Our mission is to provide impactful, community-driven media that informs, empowers, and inspires positive change. Real people, real stories, real life. This is the Most High Show. Before we get started, we want to be really clear. Nothing shared here is on behalf of any recovery program, treatment facility, or organization. We're speaking only from our own experiences. We support all pathways to sobriety and recovery, and our goal is simple: to help people feel less alone and suffer less. Joining us tonight is filmmaker Brent Ogburn. He's a person in long-term recovery with an anniversary coming up. And he's just released a brand new short film, Turn Off. Here at Most High Media, you know we love our creatives in recovery and believe in the power of creative expression. So thank you, Brent, for joining us tonight. Yeah. But let's just jump right in. You were very thorough when we were getting to know you before the episode, so I'm really excited for the conversation we're going to get into tonight. But you seem to have quite the extensive history in the film industry. But you got your start by making little home video, Jackass style, with your friends. And so why don't you tell us a little bit about how it just went from like shooting the shit with your friends to like an actual like career pursuit?
Yeah, well, thanks for having me. It's an honor to be here. You know, I appreciate what you guys do. And so it just started off in high school. Me and my buddies, Jackass was a big TV show back in the early 2000s when I was in high school. And, you know, we were just dumb teenage boys and we started, doing dumb shit. And
as teenage boys do.
Yeah.
I was there once too.
Yeah.
We all did dumb shit.
Yeah, back when I was a teenage boy, I also remember.
Yeah, and then I don't know if someone suggested, hey, let's start making our own Jackass movies or what happened, but I took the initiative. I borrowed my dad's camera, went to Best Buy and bought the converter so that you could digitize the film, because back in those days there wasn't really like a digital video. It was all recorded to tape. And so, yeah, like I took it on and we made just stupid Jackass videos that, I even created a website, back in the day, like I think with Angel Fire was, the free website that you could do back in the early 2000s, and posted them there. But, it kind of was just something that we did for fun. And you know, it ended up turning into a kind of a career. So after making those, graduating high school, I went to college. I started off at West Georgia and was going to be a teacher, a coach, and a biology teacher. And then I kind of transferred to Georgia State, where I got my undergrad in film. And it was great. I loved the program at Georgia State. They did a really good job of incorporating, you know, all the aspects of filmmaking. So kind of the stuff that you don't learn by doing, that you kind of have to learn, you know, through mentorship and through people that know, the craft and that sort of thing.
I'm just stuck on like picturing you as like a biology teacher, and then like, I'm your biology teacher. And welcome to Jackass.
Welcome to Jackass.
By the way, I think we should really reiterate on this show, you should never try anything that they do on Jackass at home.
No.
You know, even though it worked out for you, we should just reiterate on the show, we are not reliable for anything that you might do by yourself, all right? I just want to
if you have ever tried to recreate anything you've seen on Jackass, you're probably listening to the right podcast.
That's probably true too.
Exactly. Yeah. So thankfully, none of us suffered severe injuries, but we did do some stupid shit. And if my football coaches at the time knew what we were doing, I'm sure they would have not been very happy.
You did what?
Yeah,
you did
exactly.
What now?
Yeah, I'm not even gonna. We're gonna leave it.
we don't have to go into
past.
that.
Yeah.
We don't have to go into detail about that.
I think my favorite part of like any like of all the filmmakers we've talked to recently, or just people like interested in creativity in general, it's just been like there's always someone's parent always had a camera.
Yeah.
Because like now like everyone always has a camera on them like with our phones and stuff. But I like remember back in the day like my dad's camera, you know, was the kind if we wanted to watch what we recorded on the camera, we had to like put the yellow cable and the red cable and the white cable, plug it into the TV, put the little tape in the camera. Yeah, and it was like a whole fucking production just to watch the Christmas.
Yeah, and that, I mean, it's funny, you know, because my dad was the one with the camera in his hand, whether it was a video camera. You know, he was always recording Christmases, you know, birthdays, but he also had the film camera in his hand, you know, the still camera in his hand too. You know, there's tons of pictures that we have from when I was a kid and growing up, and it was like my dad always had a camera in his hand, and so I don't know if I subconsciously picked that up from him in some way, but yeah. So
your dad was not like a filmmaker or anything.
No, my
right?
dad was a firefighter.
Okay.
Here in Gwinnett County for 30 years.
Hell yeah.
You know,
I appreciate
he's
his
retired.
service.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, he just did it to document. I mean, because you know he loved us, and you know, just wanted to document our lives growing up.
Yeah.
So
I have a distinct memory of like my parents' dresser growing up. There was like drawers on one side, drawers on the other side, and in the middle was like a little door. And behind the door was just like this cascade of disposable cameras that they always needed to get developed. I don't know if they ever got them developed, but like now I'm just like, I need to like go through my mom's garage this weekend and be like, let me find all these.
you never know what hidden gems are on this.
Yeah, that's true.
No, but that's really cool though that it was just part of your life as a kid, like subconsciously with your dad.
Yeah.
And then just like kind of progressing naturally from there.
Yeah.
So 2009, you're graduating with a film degree. What's next?
So after I graduated from Georgia State with a film degree, it took me a little bit of time, maybe 6 months to a year to get hired onto a production. I went on multiple interviews with you know, different productions, you know, movies, TV shows. So the first like real thing that I did was a super indie film with this guy that I had met. He was a writer director from New York City. He was a teacher. He was a professor at Georgia Tech. His name's Hank. So if you're watching, Hank, what's up, man?
What's up, Hank?
What's up?
Yeah. So and it was like it was a great learning experience because I got hired on as a PA, but I ended up doing like locations, props, set deck, assistant camera. I mean, like it was super low budget. There wasn't a ton of people on the crew, and I wasn't getting paid. So it was literally like learning hands-on experience that I didn't really get in school.
Yeah.
And from there, then I got hired onto a couple. So the first big film I got hired onto was Contagion, and that was shot here, not entirely in Atlanta. They shot in multiple different locations throughout the world, but there was an Atlanta unit, and that was my first big show, and I learned a ton, and it was in the office. So for those of the people at home that aren't familiar with film production, there's people that work in the office, and then there's people that work on set. So on set is typically where, you know, all the magic happens, right? The cameras, the actors, everybody, that's where everything's being recorded. But there's a lot of stuff that has to happen on the back end, paperwork, you know, compliance with unions and guilds and the DOT. I mean, just so much stuff that goes in behind the scenes. And that was kind of my first experience into it. And once I got that job, it was literally like I had to turn stuff down, you know, because people in the film business, they want to see, and really it's any business, right? They want to see that you work hard, you're open to feedback, and you show up on time and you do your job.
Yeah.
Right. And so if you can do those things, I mean,
you'll get a call back.
Yeah, you get a call back. And so I started working on a bunch of different, TV shows, other films, and through that 3-year period from 2009 to 2012, I worked on a bunch of different stuff. And it was, a lot of office stuff, but also transitioned to do some set PA stuff. Mm-hmm. And that was kind of my goal. Was I was working towards becoming an assistant director. It was kind of the thing. Once I got on set and was a set PA and kind of saw all the different departments and all the different things that you could do, I really enjoyed the art and the craft of scheduling, because that's kind of what assistant directors do. Mm-hmm. They're the ones that are coordinating all of the departments and working with the directors and the producers to get the thing shot. And there's so many different moving pieces and parts. There was something about that just attracted me to it. So that's kind of where the direction I was headed at that point. So.
Okay. And in an environment like that, it's not like, you can just like hop on Indeed and they're like, now hiring set PA. Yeah. So how did you, what was that process like to even work on your first production? Yeah.
So to get hired on the first show, it was literally, I went on multiple different interviews to get that job on Contagion, right? So I got the job on that indie film, and then kind of like used that as like people then saw that I had something on my resume, and I think that let them know like, okay, he's not just some dude off the streets, like he's trying to do this. And it was through a mutual friend me and my ex-wife had. We all went to school together, and she got me the first job on Contagion. And then from there, it's literally the film business. No matter what part of it that you're in and what you're doing, is networking. Yeah, it's meeting people, it's talking to people, it's showing interest in people, and just staying in contact and building relationships with people. And so that's kind of how. I'd be on one show and then would hear that another show was starting, and if the timelines match, then I'd leave this show, maybe have a couple days off and go to the next one. So it's really that's kind of how it works, but it can be really grueling at times, because you're working
12-hour days,
at least 12-hour days, and as a PA, you're not getting paid a lot, and you're expected to be there like one of the last ones to leave, first one to be there. So people show up, they work their 12 hours, but you're there an hour before, sometimes 2-3 hours after they leave. So you're talking 15-16-hour days, and then you have to turn around and go home and try to get some sleep, and then turn around and do it all over again the next day. So it's tough. It's a tough business.
I had a friend who, like, her mom has always worked on sets. Like, that's just what she's done, like, my friend's whole life. And she, like, my friend, like, didn't know what she wanted to do. And her mom was like, well, come work on this with me. And so she worked on sets like Ozark and Doom Patrol. And I thought that was, like, really cool at the time. I was like, dude, like, you're like, painting these sets? Like, that shit's cool as fuck. And she was like, yeah, I don't love it. I was like, how do you not love it? And then she told me about a conversation she had with one of the guys she was working with, and he told her, and he's like, look, you're new. If you don't have passion for this, like, if you don't love this, get out now. Because it's not gonna happen over time. Like, it's the super long days, and it's like you really have to be in it for the love of the game. And it sucks that it's like oh yeah, if you want to do this thing, let's perpetuate the starving artist trope. But it's like
that's what art is, right? Like, you have to have a passion for it, or else it just eventually you're just not gonna there's not a lot of money unless you're like some huge director or actor or whatever. Like, a lot of times there's not a lot of money, and so you really have to be in it for the love of the game.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
And the industry has got some notoriety for addiction, substance abuse, drinking. So while you're, this is a recovery podcast. While you were working on the different shows and on different sets, and was that something that, like, were you kind of able to hide behind that culture? Or was it not really relevant with like the work you were doing?
It was never really a discussion. And it was never really something that came up. I will say there was one time, and I'll withhold names here, but there was an actor that had recently gone to rehab and gotten sober, and we were working on the show, and I was asked to go get him a bottle of champagne and deliver it to him. And I knew he'd gotten sober, and at this point I'm still in active addiction.
Yeah.
But even in that moment, I was like, this just doesn't feel right. Like, what are we doing? Like, because if I knew he was sober, that means the people that were asking me to do it definitely knew. Yeah. So I think there was definitely, it's prevalent in that environment a lot, because there are such long days, right? And they're so grueling, and they can take their toll on you mentally and physically and emotionally. And for people that suffer from addiction, our go-to method, the solution that we have found to the problem, is to self-medicate with whatever substance it is, And so I think that I don't know that being in that business helped my addiction. I think it definitely had some contributions to some of the issues that I had. So yeah, it's tough. It's a tough.
Those long work days that we just talked about are, you want to go home and you want to have a beer, or you want to go home and have a drink. Or to go through, you might want to have some cocaine, to get through the day.
Yeah.
Like,
for sure.
It's one of those things where you got to be on the go at all times, or you got to be like in a zone, essentially.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, on set,
time is money.
Yeah.
Especially once you're into production. That's why the days are so long, is because you've spent hundreds of thousands of dollars to get everybody and everything and all these things on a set to shoot that day. You don't want to waste.
Everything has to
run
run smoothly.
Yeah.
So. I remember when the first crew I was working with, the director was like, hey, he's like, I'm gonna ask you a personal question. He's like, I know you're in recovery.
Yeah.
He's like, do not be surprised if you see cocaine and where we're going. He's like, is this going to be a problem for you? He's like, because if this is going to be a problem for you, I suggest you find a different industry to work in. Yeah. If you can work under these conditions, I'm happy to have you on my crew. And I was just like, okay. I'm like, I remember calling my sponsor, who's also been in the industry her whole life. I'm just like, I feel like I'll be fine. She's like, you'll be fine. I'm like, okay. She's like, you have my number, you'll be fine. I'm like, okay. But it was just like, I appreciated his candor and being like, this is just a fact of working in a place like this. It's long days, long hours. People take bumps to get through it. It's part of it.
Thankfully, I never dealt with there was never any use or abuse on set or in the office, at least that I saw, that I knew. If people were doing it, then they were hiding it. Which, again,
other than you know what I mean?
Yeah. Which, again, that's just kind of feeds into what we do as addicts. We were masters at hiding shit. And so thankfully it was never, out in the open. And there were times that we would rap, they're like rap parties. We'd go, it'd be at a bar, no matter what. It was always at a bar. An open bar, and just to have get everybody together to have a party. We just made this film, we just worked our butts off and celebrate. So but it was never I never had to deal with any drugs while working on sets, even on the small stuff that I did, the indie stuff. That was never an issue.
That's good.
Yeah.
I mean, I know, like, I've never worked on an actual set other than ones that like we've done or that I've done, and that was pretty much in Sobriety, except for one of those short films, but that'll never see the light of day, by the way. It's horrible. But I know, like, you know, in the last job that I worked for, like, you know, I was using, you know, I was drinking and I was doing a lot of cocaine and I was, you know, taking Adderall, Concerta, whatever. And, you know, I do have ADHD, so, you know, but I actually do have ADHD, but like I was abusing all of that stuff.
Yeah.
And eventually I saw I thought that I was doing a really good job, right? But I could slowly, you know, see me working less, or like, you know, having a harder time getting, you know, meeting my deadlines and everything like that, because I'm an editor.
Yeah.
You know, and that's the last company that I worked for. I was editing. That's solely what I did. You know, and I could see that dip. And even when I was like when I went to school at Full Sail, it was kind of the same thing.
Yeah.
You know, like Full Sail is a lot like the industry, because they take you from, you know, normally to get your bachelor's degree it'd be 4 years, right?
Right.
Full Sail, you pretty much do it in like 24
2
months, like 2 years.
Yeah.
And so it's half the time.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So you're going through, each month is like a new semester. Mm-hmm. And so it's essentially, they're getting you ready for the industry and for how fast paced it is.
Right.
You know, and so, you know, using cocaine kind of helped with that.
Yeah.
From time to time.
Well, and,
you know
and being
what I mean?
an editor too, like, I mean, you're in, you know, talk about one of the things that I know that I'm notorious for with my addiction is isolation.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and that's literally, you're in a dark room by yourself.
That's how I like it.
I mean, that is isolation.
That's what I like.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, but these days it's solitude.
Yes,
you know?
right.
It feels so good.
Yeah.
I just turn on my little LED lights and get to work.
There's a couple things I want to talk about while we're hovering around the addiction.
Yeah.
Is I want to talk more about like maybe some early warning signs that you had in your drinking career, but I also want to talk about the movie you worked on before you got sober, Flight with Denzel Washington, the
Amazing
Robert
movie.
Zemeckis movie.
Yes.
Amazing movie.
So I can't pick which one is more relevant right now. So I want to talk about both of those things and take it away.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, so that movie was, it was like kind of the penultimate experience for me, because I was working on set with Robert Zemeckis, who's an Oscar-winning director, and I love his films. Denzel Washington, Don Cheadle, Bruce Greenwood, you know, just everywhere you looked, it was. I mean, one day Marissa Tomei showed up on set because her brother was in the film. I mean, it was just like
there's just stars.
Hollywood legends everywhere. Yeah. And at the time, I remember like reading the script, and so I was a set PA on this one, and I was kind of hired as an additional set PA, so I didn't work every single day. I really worked on the stuff where they needed a lot of extra hands. I ended up working on probably about little more than half the film. So I think there was 50 some days of production. I worked probably 25 to 30 of those. Nice. But I remember, so there's one scene in the film where it's towards the end where Denzel's getting ready to go to this press conference. And in this press conference, all he has to do is stick to the story that his lawyers and people have been pushing him, and the thing that he's been saying, but the story's a lie. It's not true. So by the way,
bro, let me just stop you real quick. Yeah. She hasn't seen it.
Okay.
So let's try. Not
no
to spoil
spoilers.
Yeah, he said we're watching it this week.
Okay.
Yeah,
so
I won't give it away.
It's one of my favorite addiction movies.
Okay.
So
I won't give it away.
I know exactly what you're talking about.
But there's a scene where where he is isolated the night before with the mini bar,
Yep.
Right. And so all of that takes place in this hotel room, and it was shot at the Marriott Marquis, probably on like the 35th floor. And I remember the day that we were shooting that. I don't know if I had gone too far the night before and was hungover or still drunk that day, but I was at, like, the lockup that I had was on the 35th floor, right at the balcony, and like looking over into just the vastness of the space below. And I just remember like shaking, like being terrified in that moment. Fear of heights, but also there was a lot of stuff bubbling up in me for whatever reason in that moment. And like I ended up having to switch with somebody. I ended up going downstairs and hanging out with the extras. But like that film is about addiction.
Yeah.
And it was, I had no idea when I was working on it the meaning that it was going to have in my life later on. But looking back on it now, like that film was kind of probably the first time I realized that I definitely had some sort of problem. Just because of the subject matter and just everything that kind of surrounded that movie, that production. That was in 2000. I think we shot that in 2011. I think it came out in 2012.
Something like that.
And so my oldest son, he was born at the beginning of 2012. And so like I was, I think that had a lot to do with the realization maybe. But yeah, like that film, just the story and everything, it kind of, I think that was what let me know, like in the back of my mind, it definitely wasn't a conscious thing.
Yeah.
Because I continued to drink for years after that film. But I think that was the first indication, or at least the first little nugget in my head that, oh shit, I think I got a lot in common with Denzel's character here.
Yeah.
Maybe a little too much, and this is uncomfortable.
You're sitting right outside the room. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah. So.
And anybody that's seen that movie knows what scene he's talking about. Like,
yeah. Yeah.
So it's,
Yeah. So it was an amazing experience for sure. Just because, working with like Denzel Washington is like, every time you see him do something and just the wisdom that he has and the things that he does for people, like he is just such a good dude.
Yeah.
And so it was just really special to get that experience.
And he's one of us, isn't he?
I'm not sure. He might be.
I think he's so. I'm pretty sure he's sober.
He might be.
I could be wrong though. Might have to cut this part out. I don't know.
Fucking libel over here.
You're not liable for anything that I say.
So you mentioned your son being born in 2012, and I know you told us before the show that was around the time you left the industry.
Yeah.
So tell us about that transition. Like, what did you start doing instead? Were you focusing more on fatherhood? Like, what was happening?
Yeah. So 2012. My son was born, Jackson. He was born the 24th of January.
Happy belated birthday.
Yeah. And so working in the film business as a PA, you don't make a lot of money. And so I think I worked on one more movie later in that year. It was an Arnold Schwarzenegger movie. And me and my ex-wife, we just made the decision. Like, I literally, the money I was making was going to pay daycare. And I'm like, this, we were like, this doesn't make any sense. Why am I taking hours, weeks out of my life to go do this thing and literally just paying someone to watch my kid?
Yeah.
So I left the film business and I became a stay-at-home dad. So I stayed at home with him for, I think, 2.5 years, something like that, maybe 3 years. And it was an amazing experience. It was hard. Like anybody that says being a stay-at-home parent is easy is not. Like, they have no freaking clue what they're talking about. It's difficult because it's like it feels thankless, like, and that, I think, was kind of really when my addiction came forefront. Like those years were amazing, but I spent a lot of time trying to escape during those years, and it was really a difficult time. So that's what I ended up doing until 2015. So I kind of lost myself. I didn't have a sense of purpose. I didn't know what I was doing. And I kind of went back to what I thought I wanted to do when I first went to college, was being a teacher. So in 2015, when my next son was being born, I started substitute teaching, just to see, like, is this really what I want to do? Do I really want to be a teacher, or is this, just something that seems good right now? And so I started substitute teaching, and got into a couple, went to different schools, different high schools, elementary schools, middle schools, I pretty much knew I wanted to be a high school teacher. I didn't really want to definitely didn't want to teach middle school, something just about that. So that age group, I mean, anybody that teaches middle school, man, like, y'all are saints.
My friend is a middle school Spanish teacher.
Oh my God.
I don't know how she does that.
I don't know either. But I was pretty sure I didn't want to teach little kids. So I ended up getting a job at the school that I'm at currently, Norcross High School, teaching. And that's, kind of, I don't know if I thought that was going to give me a sense of purpose. That was the goal, right? I wanted to feel like I was doing something, because making movies is fun. Right, but at the end of the day, it's just a movie, right? Whose life are you changing? What impact are you having by making movies? Little did I know Flight was going to have a big impact on me. But,
I mean, there's a lot of movies that have a lot of great impact.
Yeah, but then there's also a lot of garbage that's out there.
Yeah.
But then you're also teaching kids, and so
So that's kind of like what my goal was. I wanted to feel like I was contributing to society, right, and making a difference, and feel like there was some sort of worth to what I was doing, that I wasn't getting that in the film business, and so I got into teaching in 2015, and my youngest son was born, Everett, in March of 2015.
March is a great month to be born.
Yeah.
Just putting that out there.
Yeah.
I was born in March.
Okay, there you go.
I got sober in March. So.
Yeah. It's awesome.
I was reborn in March.
There you go.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
But it is a great. He's got a birthday coming up too. Then.
Yeah, end of February, 2/23.
So your sobriety date, your son's birthday, and your first son's birthday just passed. Mm-hmm. So the first 3 months of every year is pretty big.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
It's a good Q1,
Yeah, exactly. It sets it up for success.
That's cool, man.
Okay, so teaching starts in 2015, and that's what you're still doing?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, I'm still a teacher. So I started off teaching biology and physics.
Welcome to Jackass.
Yeah, exactly. So it kind of came full circle,
That's cool, man.
So that's what I started teaching, and then I think it was in 2019, the audio video job came open at the school I was at, and my principal knew I had a background in film. I had a degree in film, and had done it professionally, and he said, do you want to take this job? I was like, yeah, definitely, and so that's what I've been doing since 2019, is teaching audio video class, and it's been amazing. Having my hands on just the equipment, the gear, and teaching, because you really learn more about whatever you're trying to teach when you start teaching it. I think that if you can teach something, then you feel pretty confident that you know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Because, especially in high school, because those kids will call you on your bullshit. They're not scared to speak their mind. So like I feel like over the past, 7 years, roughly, I feel like I've learned a lot more, just by teaching this class and trying different things and just spending time in the environment and around kids. They kind of have their own way of pushing you.
Yeah.
So
yeah, my AV teacher in high school when I was a junior, that's kind of like around the time that I started making music videos for like all my friends and stuff. And so that he had a huge impact on me knowing what I wanted to do too. Cause when I went to college in 2015, the first time, I actually called him and was like, what's like good equipment to get?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Cause I didn't really know. And so I called him, I called the school, they put me in touch with him. And then it was, so what you're doing, from personal experience, like, it'll definitely change somebody's life.
Yeah.
Put them in a different, directory, different path.
Yeah.
Different path. I'm not used to this,
directory
man.
too.
I'm used to being behind.
The
I'm used to being behind the camera. You know what I'm saying? So let's yeah.
No, high school teachers are important. Like I'm still in touch to this day with my high school yearbook teacher. Because I didn't do the AV route because I was like, I'm going to be a journalist.
Yeah.
Amazing writer. So.
Yeah.
But I was in the school yearbook. And so I remember like the first time I was looking for a video camera, she was the only person I knew that knew anything about cameras, period. Because my brothers are like engineers.
Yeah.
And so I hit her up and I was like, do you know anything about video cameras? And she didn't. But that was like the first person I thought of. I was like, surely she will know. She has all of the answers.
Yeah.
And I graduated like many years ago. And I still, high school teachers are important.
Yeah. Yeah. I have one student, he goes by Wolf.
I love that.
Yeah. His name's Wolf Williams.
Shout out Wolf.
I think he graduated in 2020. So he was one of my first year guinea pigs. But he's still in the business and like he's helped me on every project that I've done, every short film. He's come out and he's helped me out. And I've tried to help him on his creative stuff too. And it was just one of those things. Like I could tell in high school that he had the bug. Like he had the creativity in him, and we're still in touch to this day. And he helped on Turn Off as well. So it's a really cool relationship now. He's probably 24, 25 years old now. So he's like a grown-ass man almost.
Still waiting on that was it the frontal lobe to develop?
Yeah. Well, I
think that's 25 or something.
With 26.
Well,
I don't know.
With guys, man, does it ever really develop?
He's a biology teacher.
Yeah, you're the biology teacher. You should let us know. But since you mentioned Turn Off, I think I need to adjust my seat.
It's a great segue, actually.
Yeah, there you go.
Okay.
Let's turn off the rest.
If you know, you know. So, your newest short film, Turn Off.
Yeah.
We watched it a couple times. I'm very excited to talk about this.
I do not know if this is going to be able to catch on camera, by the way.
I'm about to transition back down, but it adds to it if you can't see me on camera.
Or just switch to like the wide shot.
The wide, yeah.
Yeah.
There you go.
Got a couple.
All the viewers are going to be like, "What the hell?"
It's all right.
But no, this we watched your short film a couple of times, and there's very excited to talk about it. But the reason shifted is there's a specific part, and what you said. Look, can I be serious and sit like an asshat at the same time, please?
I mean, if you see Turn Off, they did it fantastic.
But no, I am gonna adjust Liam,
there's only so much time knees can take like that.
Well, it's not the knees; it's the it's the camera.
This is not the chair that you really want to. Never mind. Let's not go into spoilers.
Anyway, so something you had said before the show was when you were talking about the last year of your sobriety and your healing, and you had said. You had listed some books that you read, and you said all of these helped play a role in processing past trauma and helping you to rediscover a new path towards creativity. And then in your short film, Turn Off, Cal has his little prayer after the group painting session, and he says, "Dearly beloved, we're gathered here today to expunge some of this shit we call trauma. Thank you for creation and the pain that inspired it." And I really liked that line. Like, thank you for creation and the pain that inspired it, because so much, especially in recovery, so much of creative expression is inspired by trauma. Yeah. And so I really want to hear more from you about like going back into creativity, going back into filmmaking in sobriety, healing your traumas, and then creating this short film based off of your own experience.
Yeah. So, at the end of, what year was that? Last year was 25, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So at the end of 24, going into 25, I was kind of at a weird crossroads almost in my life. And there's something about this time of year that always it brings up a lot. And for whatever reason, from like November to really February. So we're in February now. I'm good. But like November, December, January, those months are always seem to be very transitional for me to some degree. I don't know if it's, I don't know why. I don't know if it's the weather, because I hate the cold. Like I'm like Cal. Like, put me on a beach, give me a surfboard, even though I don't know how to surf. I don't care. Like, I want to be out in the sun.
Yeah.
So
playing the drums.
Yeah, playing the drums, man. I'm a guitar. Like, I play guitar. Like, yeah, I can't even play the drums.
That makes it so much better.
Yeah. But yeah, so I was kind of in that mindset of like, well, what the fuck am I doing? And one of my friends gave me this book. It was a daily gratitude practice, and so I started doing that at the end of December 24 and into January of last year. Was just a practice of gratitude, and for whatever reason, I decided that I was going to sit down. I was going to write a script based on my time in detox and rehab. The original intent was literally just to get the shit out, to help process the emotions, the grief, the regret, the just all the negativity that was around that time in my life. My intent was not to make it. Like, I wasn't writing it like, oh, we're gonna make this at some point. It was literally just writing it to write it, just to get it out, just to process the trauma.
It was therapy.
Yeah, it was therapy. And I've heard of other people doing this. Like Shia LaBeouf did it with his like semi-autobiographical film, Honey Boy, I think is what it's called. Yep. Yeah.
I think, yeah.
So like, and he wrote that in when he was in rehab.
I can't think of Shia LaBeouf without actual Cannibal Shia LaBeouf. The song plays in my head every time.
Yeah. So like that was the intent. I wrote it for me. Like I was the audience. It wasn't like I said. I wasn't planning on doing anything with it. But I knew also going through doing this gratitude and starting other creative recovery books, like The Artist's Way was a big one. It's a 12-week book, which makes sense with 12 steps. I mean, I'm just saying.
Nice.
It's kind of like an extension of sobriety for me.
Yeah.
But kind of into the creativity. But yeah, so like I knew I wanted to So I've made some short films over the past 5 or 6 years, but each one that I made, it was me. Like, I wrote it, I directed it, I was the cinematographer. Wolf was there helping. He was helping to grip. But for the most part, it was me and a cast, and like I was having to wear all these hats. And like I knew that I wanted to make something this past year, but I didn't want to be the one wearing all the hats. Like, I knew I needed other people to help me. So I started attending networking events. I went to a Kodak event so that every year they do a 100 feet of film challenge with the Atlanta Film Society, where you get 100 feet of 16 millimeter film and you got to turn that into a short. So it's like 2.5 minutes, and you're shooting on film, and you have to turn that into a short film. So that was in like January of last year. I went to that event. That's where I met my cinematographer, who worked on Turn Off, Luigi.
Nice.
We just started talking. He literally walked in, sat down next to me. We just started talking, and kind of hit it off there. And then I also started going to, it's called Eat, Drink, BND, from the Atlanta Film Society. It's a monthly networking event that they put on the third Tuesday of every month, just to start meeting people. Because I knew that I was going to take other people to help me if I wanted to make something. So Luigi and I hit it off, and we started talking, and at some point he asked, do you have anything that you're wanting to shoot? I was like, well, I've got this script that I wrote, it's about my time in detox and rehab, you want to read it? He was like, yeah. So I sent it to him, and his response back was like, all right, when are we making this? And I was like, what? Dude, this is good. Let's make this. And I was like, okay. I was like, well, if we're going to do this, like, we're going to need a producer, because I can't be the writer, director, producer. I can't do all of these things by myself. And so at one of those Eat, Drink, BND events, Luigi and I were sitting there. This young woman walked in, sat down at our table, introduced herself. She said, hi, my name's Olivia. I'm a producer. And I was like, well,
interesting.
Just so happens we're looking for a producer. And so that's where I met Olivia Frasco. She was the producer on this. Shared the script with her, and she loved it. And so it kind of just started snowballing. It was just kind of one of those things. There was a lot of stuff around this film that were that fell into place, synchronicities, and that's kind of one of the things that the Artist Way talks about, are the synchronicities. Rick Rubin's book, the Creative Way. So like I started seeing a lot of stuff that was in those creative recovery texts applying to my life, and with this project, me being the first audience, writing it and doing this for myself, things falling into place, like that's the universe telling you
you're on the right path.
This is keep going. Yeah. Like, don't question this. I'm you've wanted this, you asked for this. Let's pursue this. So like all of that kind of started taking place, and then and I was coaching football, and I coached football from 2015 until last year, and I decided, if I'm going to shoot this, if I'm going to do this thing that I say that I want to do, football's not going to be an option, because it's a year-round commitment for the most part. So I was forced with a decision, and so I some other things that happened kind of was, again, the universe kind of pushing me and guiding me, saying this is the path. And so I gave up coaching football last year. Still teaching. And then, we just kind of started, we put it out there and we cast it. And we, the the main guy, Jess Matney, who plays Ryan in the film. He's our main character.
Fantastic job.
He's so talented.
He's so good.
He's so good.
Wait, he's so good. I felt left out.
Like he's yeah. And again, another synchronicity. I just saw him on Instagram and just started following him, and he reached out to me on Instagram and was like, "Hey, I see you're a director. Do you have anything you're working on?" I sent him a script. He said, "Bro, I love it. Let's do it." And so then I had my main actor cast. Yeah. So I mean, there's just it was really kind of creepy sometimes. I'm like, why is all of this happening? This doesn't seem like this is the way it should be going down. Like it should seem harder to do. That's not saying that there weren't a lot of challenges, especially once we started trying to raise money to pay for this thing. There was a lot of challenges and a lot of things that I had to face within myself. A lot of fear, a lot of I think that the biggest one was the fear of being seen.
It's not like it was like a super personal story or
right.
anything like that.
Definitely wasn't.
Right.
Can't imagine why that fear would be there.
Not like I'm on podcasts, and out in the public, on Instagram talking about, how I'm an alcoholic and, all that.
Nothing like that. Nothing
to
like
be scared of there.
I mean, it really is terrifying sharing something. It's vulnerable.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, and it's not just because like it's about your time in rehab.
Yeah.
This is your art.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? This is something you wrote. This is something you directed. This is something you were in. This is something, you know what I mean?
You sacrificed your knees for this.
You sacrificed a year of football, which you love.
I did.
You know what I mean? Like it's not just because it's, about your time in rehab. It's like literally anything that we do as artists, putting it out there is very vulnerable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
But when it's something like this, it's, terrifying.
Yeah. It was very, I mean, it was, but it's also, it was very beautiful. Because the things that I've gotten out of it, like the most important thing that's come out of this, like everybody that worked on this, they worked on it for free. We didn't raise enough money to pay people. Our majority of our money went to location and set deck and food. We couldn't pay people, so I spent. We got good food. Like we didn't just eat pizza or pub subs. Like we got some good food those couple days that we were shooting. But like everybody that worked on it, they have some sort of tie to addiction, whether it's their own personal story. Or somebody they love, and not only that, the people that supported the film or just saw that I was doing this on social media. I can't tell you the number of people that have reached out to me to share their story with me, and a lot of these. So some of these people I've known for 20 years and never had an idea, no clue that they suffered from any sort of addiction. And some people are complete strangers, or people that I've only met recently that felt comfortable enough to open up and share their story with me. So like when that started happening, it was like, whoa, okay, this is more than just my story. Like this is kind of exactly what we do in rooms, right? We come in and we're vulnerable with total strangers, and we end up leaving feeling better about ourselves for having shared, but also for receiving what other people are willing to share. It's like that's the community, and so I'm really proud of the community that we've built around this short film.
This is the part where we cut back to you saying making movies doesn't impact people.
I was literally just thinking that. I was like, when are we gonna hit him with that line?
Yeah, I know. Like I eat my own words, but I think that in that moment, right? Like how many years ago is that? 14, 15 years ago. Yeah. Like I saw that in that moment, and I that's kind of where I am going and what I want to do with the stories that I tell.
Yeah.
Is I want them to have an impact. You know, I mean, it's one of the things I tell my students. Storytelling is the best way to get your point across.
Yeah.
And the best storytelling, the best films, make people feel something.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's all about how someone feels when they're watching whatever it is that you've created. So yeah, that's kind of like my mission, I guess, with my work, is to change lives or have an impact on the people that are watching it.
And you, to be honest with you, like, first of all, it's amazing.
Thank you.
The film is amazing.
Appreciate it.
But it's one of those things where, like, you might not ever know how much that's actually impacted somebody.
Yeah.
You know, like, I see that a lot with what we do here.
Yeah.
You know, like, we do this podcast every Friday. We put out content every day. We make documentaries, you know. And we could be changing lives left and right, and we just don't know it.
Yeah.
You know, or we could change no lives, and we're just doing this for no fucking reason.
But like any time,
but I don't think that's true.
No.
But you know,
anytime
like,
we've gotten a message, like, you know, like I know I've gotten messages personally from people who, like, they'll thank me for doing a show like this. They'll thank me for being loud about my recovery, and it's just like, wow, it's like, this is the impact that I'm hoping this is having. But it's like actually seeing it is such a humbling experience. It's super cool. And it's just like, whenever someone shares a bit of their story with you, it's so, I don't know, it like, that's why you do it, you know, like, that's the fucking magic sauce right there. Like, every time, like, I've done a fifth step with somebody afterward, I always thank them, because I'm just like, thank you for trusting me with these parts of your story. And it's like the same thing anytime, like, someone shares, they're like, thank you for making your short film and sharing your story with, you know, I don't want to say the world, I don't know who all has the link, but but just sharing it just with the public, because it's, you know, impactful. And especially with in their Ryan's share at the meeting, in the group meeting, the way, first of all, he's so good.
So amazing.
Call back.
But just you know, and knowing a little bit of what we do know about you, like seeing the parallels of like how it is, that was part of your story, but then also seeing it portrayed by like a guy who didn't even live it, you know. But it was just so powerful because it was relatable, it was real, it was like, I could see somebody, like another father, relating to it. Like, what really stuck out to me in there was like wanting to be such a good dad, wanting to show up, wanting to do these things, but good dads don't show up smelling like alcohol. You know, and then, you know, having, you know, what, I don't know what all is, you know, inspired by and based off of, right? But, you know, in the film, you know, he has his ex-wife is filming everything because he doesn't want to miss any of it. And it's just, you know, the insides, he wants to show up for his kids. He wants to be a father. He wants to be a husband. He wants to be like great and wonderful and amazing, but his actions just don't make the mark. And that is what we come into these rooms with, is our actions and our desires not lining up and not knowing how to make them connect. And I feel like that's really, like, that was the point that really got made with what Ryan said.
So that moment there, so the first, I don't know, 30 seconds of that speech is what I wrote in the script. So it's based on my experience, and, you know, with my ex-wife and my kids, and being in that, and, you know, on the topic of hiding, like, that was literally something that I did. You know, I would hide the alcohol throughout the house, you know, just so I could get away with it. But the first 30 seconds of that is what I wrote in the script. The rest of it is all him. It was all him. I didn't write that last bit. And so, like, that is him expressing just all of the shit that he has experienced. He's not one of us, but he's been around a lot of people that are. And so he's seen a lot of shit. And so for him to like, it's still when I was, because I edited the film too, and when I'd get to that moment, like watching it, it would make me tear up, because I mean that place, he came from an authentic place with that monologue, and you know, I was sitting in the chair, you know, up on my knees or up on my legs, like you were just a minute ago.
That's where that came from, by the way.
Yeah.
Now you know.
Yeah. So now you got to come watch it when it comes out.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I was in the chair like that, and it was probably the entire monologue is probably 3.5 minutes, and I ended up cutting probably 30 seconds out of it just because it was it needed to be shortened to some degree. But I mean, I stayed in that position the whole time because I knew I had the camera dollying in. You know, that was the intention there, right? Was to really start wide so we could see kind of the landscape, but I really wanted this really slow dolly in as he went deep, right? Because we're going inside, and so we're getting closer to him. But I had no idea if I was in frame or not. And I was like, my knees were on fire. Like I thought my knees were both going to pop. Yeah. You know, but I wasn't ruining that take because he was in it. And I mean, Jess, he is. Thank you so much, dude. Like he's so talented.
Shout out Jess
Matney. Like you're just keep that name in your head because he's on his way.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
He's on his way.
I could see it.
Yeah. So yeah, that was a really special moment. We only did one take. It was all. I mean,
That's
I wasn't
amazing.
doing it again. It was like we got it.
Yeah, your knees couldn't do it again.
No, my knees couldn't do it again. But
you also got it. So,
but I mean, like just the heart and the authenticity in that performance. I mean, there was no like why do it again? Like,
it was amazing.
Yeah.
So, landing a plane here, right?
Yeah.
Where are you landing it though?
What's next?
Hopefully on the runway.
What's next?
What's
Brent
next?
Ogburn?
Well, so right now the film Turn Off, we've submitted to I think at this point have submitted to 35 different festivals all over the country, mostly some overseas. I think like 1 or 2 in France, Italy, Germany.
Nice.
But yeah, so there's a lot around the country, you know, from the Pacific Northwest to LA to Phoenix to New York to the Midwest, and we just kind of have submitted all over the place, and then a lot of festivals here in Georgia. So we're currently just waiting. Like this is part of the going on a festival circuit, and this is not really something that I think I was prepared for or knew, but like it's at least a year. Like.
Shit.
Yeah, the next year essentially is when festivals are going to either, you know, hopefully they're accepting it, right? So hopefully we get into all 35 that we apply to, but yeah, so like it's over the next 5 to 6 months we'll start hearing from festivals whether they've accepted it or not, and those festivals start like in June, I think is probably the first one, and yeah, so like that's what's next now is to take this to audiences, and just go build a network of people throughout the country that are filmmakers that are somehow connected to recovery, you know, and just that's the goal for this upcoming year with this film. I do have some other scripts that I'm working on. You know, I've got a feature that I've written. I've got a short film that me and my cinematographer have developed. Nice. We came up with the story. I wrote the script. And yeah, I mean, I'm constantly, you know, kind of going into the reserves of my psyche to figure out what sort of pain am I trying to process next. I mean, that kind of seems
right
to be
there with you, man.
That kind of seems to be my you know, the thing that I do is I you know, try to transmute the shit that I've been through. A lot of, you know, most of it is self-inflicted, but try to turn it into something positive and learn something from it, and make something creative out of it that maybe helps someone else. That's kind of
it's all we really
my
can
goal.
do.
Yeah.
Right. You know what I mean? Like, that's the great part of what we do is, especially being the position that we're in, being addicts and alcoholics and filmmakers,
but not being crouched on chairs.
Yeah. But
So
we get to transmit that. You know what I mean? Like, it's a whole nother way of having a meeting, as you kind of said before.
Exactly.
Exactly. It's really cool.
So one of the things that I got, we had a cast and crew screening last week. Was it last week? Yeah, it was last week.
We were just talking about it.
Yeah. So one of the things that people have been asking about is what's Cal's story? Are we going to see more of Cal? So
I'm not convinced Cal's real.
Okay.
I'm just putting it out there.
I've also gotten that feedback, so that's good. So that was kind of part of the intention.
There's there is a phenomenon of shared hallucinations, and I am convinced that's Cal.
Yeah.
Just sitting on a chair like that.
Yeah, just chilling.
I've always been here, man, and he has. He has, and he'll never leave.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so just continuing to just have fun and do it, man. I mean, that's the goal of doing any of this. I think early on in my career, when I was younger, in 2012, around that time, the goal was like, oh, I want to make it. I want to be this big time director and all that. And that's not my goal anymore. My goal is to tell stories that mean something to me and have fun doing it. I mean, that's the whole point. And if something comes of it, great. And if it doesn't, then I'll still do it, because it's literally it's the one thing I keep coming back to. It has been a present in my life for 30 years, or 25 years, 30 years, and I keep coming back to storytelling and running a camera, and filmmaking. So I think that's the universe's way of telling me, like, don't quit giving it up entirely. You might have to take breaks, but quit giving up, because this is what you're meant to do.
Yeah.
So,
because what you're meant to do isn't always the thing that makes you money.
Yeah.
And I think that's, where, especially these days, we get it really confused.
Yeah, big time.
Yep. Hell yeah. Well,
yeah.
Thanks for coming on.
Absolutely.
Where can our audience find you?
Yeah.
And know which festivals they can catch Turn Off at?
Yeah. So we're on Instagram. So you can follow me on Instagram. It's at Brent Ogburn. The short film Turn Off is at Turn Off Short Film on Instagram.
Sounds like a direction. Turn off short film.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. There you go. Turn off short film.
But you want to turn this one on.
Yeah,
Yes.
turn on, turn off.
Turn on, turn off.
Turn on, turn off short film.
And then we have a website, turnoffshort.com. That's where, so both the Instagram and the website is where we'll be keeping everybody up to date on festival acceptances, and we've got some content planned, some behind the scenes stuff as we start ramping up towards the festival stuff, to try to build some hype and some excitement around our festival run.
Oh yeah,
that's coming up hopefully soon.
Cool. Well, I
We'll
hope
keep
this
looking out
helped
for it.
build some excitement.
Yeah, definitely.
I'm
as
excited
well.
for it.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah, I am. My face isn't showing it, but I'm so excited.
See this one? All right. Well, appreciate it, man.
Yeah, thank y'all for having me. This was fun. I appreciate it.
Hopefully you can come back when we start back up again.
Yeah, definitely. Love to.
And you'll keep us up to date with everything that's going on.
We'll do.
Hell yeah. This show has been made possible by the Georgia Opioid Abatement Trust and our donors and sponsors. We'd like to thank you all. If you enjoyed this episode of The Most High Show, please be sure to download the Most High Media app, where you can find all of our podcasts, documentaries, and more. Follow us on social media at Most High Media on Instagram, TikTok, and Facebook. This is and has been another episode of The Most High Show.